Talk to me about the pain. I want to know.
It. The thing is, it was like say somebody scratching you all the
Yep.
time,
Uh-huh.
but when they're doing lines, it's something about like the outline that I have of the cat. I felt every single line, and that's it's not pain like if you stub your toe. It's not pain like that. It's not a pain like that. It's an ache, and it's just like repeated scratches.
Yeah.
You know?
I really want. I've been watching so much Ink Master this lockdown, and I've decided that like I think it was just that like I miss stand-up so much that I miss like a little bit of pain in my life, you know.
And okay. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Shooting the Breeze Season 2, Episode 20. And my guest tonight is Aaron Hill. Aaron is a comic and musician based out of Ottawa. So welcome, Aaron. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks a lot. Looking forward to shooting some breeze. How are you doing?
Shooting some breeze, exactly. I'm okay. How are you doing?
I'm slowly going insane, but that's okay.
Yes, I think we all are.
What can you do?
I was already there, but
Yeah, exactly.
So I haven't seen you in a little while.
Yeah.
I think maybe the summer or fall, something like that.
I think
It was
about
a
the
show.
fall at Yuck Yucks. That's right.
At Yuck Yucks, yeah.
Yep.
So how have you been keeping busy? Like, what did you do, say, during the first lockdown?
Yeah.
And then how did you fare when we were open and then closed and then open and then closed again?
Oh God, I can't even remember all of them. But no, the first one was I was actually fully I basically took like a voluntary layoff because I was freaked out, and my work was pretty cool about it, pretty flexible. So I was off for about 2.5 months. And during that time I just kind of like really learned, tried to learn some video production. Just did a few projects on my own, and I started a bit of a silly web series called Aaron Reviews. So it was just kind of loosely based on me reviewing something. It could be anything, like a piece of food or the apocalypse, but it was just an excuse basically for me to start learning and getting my hands dirty with video production. So that was actually really fun. I would like to go back to doing that, to be honest. So that was really fun. And then I got back to work, and it was and then comedy started up again for a little while, and it was awkward at first, but we all made it work. And it was frustrating, right? Because it takes a while. It's like ring rust in fighting. You lose the momentum, you lose the timing, you lose the muscle.
Yes.
And then it slowly started to come back. I worked it up, built it up. And just as I was like really getting in that pocket again, the other lockdown hit. So it was like the rugs just pulled right out from under you,
Yeah.
I've tried to just keep writing the whole time. I've been doing some online workshops with some other comics in town here. So that just helps me keep my brain sharp and keep thinking of things comedically,
Right.
I don't actually remember the second lockdown. Everyone says this is our third, and I'm like, did I miss one? But no, there was another one I remember now, but I don't remember what I did.
It was October. I think it was the month of October or something.
Yeah. I don't think I did anything for that one, but anyway, currently I've decided I'm going to produce some music. I've always been a musician and interested in releasing music, and this seemed like a perfect excuse. And I had kind of already had some songs I had written for. I've been doing some musical comedy as well at Yuck Yucks. My brother and I have a musical comedy show, which actually Howard, the manager there, gave us during one of the lockdowns. So that was pretty awesome. So anyway, I've had to write a bunch of songs for that. So anyway, during this one, I just decided I was going to like put them on wax, as they say. And I recorded them. So actually 2 days ago or 1 day ago, I released a single, which is just 2 songs. But Yeah, man, like fully produced, fully like pretty much exactly how I want them to sound. And yeah, so that was pretty cool. It was a cool little
That is very
adventure for
cool.
me. Cool little just new way to get it out there. It's weird as a comic, right? Because I always feel weird sharing my jokes online because then you're kind of giving them away, right? And you're kind of taking away that incentive to come out and see you live. And as anyone will tell you, comedy needs to be experienced live. I mean, it's the best way to experience it. You get that spontaneous element. Anything can happen.
True.
So much fun live. You know, on a recording, it's fine, but it doesn't always do it justice. And then again, once you put a joke out there, I mean, sure, you might have some family and friends come and see it, but once someone's heard a joke, they don't want to hear it 10 times. It's basically, you know, like, what else you got? And I don't have that much material where I could just like pump out these jokes, right? So I figured music would give me a good way to actually start releasing some content online, and maybe people could follow along, and I could start to maybe develop a bit of a fan base that way. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. I released my single 2 days ago. It's called Are You Ready to Rock, Paper, Scissors? And yeah, it's I don't know, getting some good feedback. It's pretty fun.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Did you collaborate at all with your brother? Because I know your brother released some music as well. So did you guys work together, or were you totally separate?
No, totally separate. Although we do have we do have that show, so we work together for the live act a little bit, and you know, we kind of wrote some stand up that kind of weaves in and out with two people, you know, which is kind of its own whole thing, learning curve. It's really hard, but no, he just released his own musical album. Mine's like musical comedy, and his is just straight up music, like, you know, earnest music, which is I'm not ready for. I couldn't handle like releasing something in earnest on the internet. It scares the hell out of me. So I do joke music for now until I get comfortable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna share the links where people can download in the show notes and everything later on.
Yes,
so,
that's awesome. Please check them out. I've gotten awesome feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one older song that I did last year. There's a video for that too on my YouTube, and then a brand new song, which I'm going to shoot a video for that too. That's my next project.
Cool.
For a show coming up in March. So yeah, look out for that. But definitely check out that music.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So we'll share the links. We'll put the links in the comments as well as in the show notes of when I post this episode. Awesome. So how long have you been doing comedy? Like, when did you start?
I think I'm coming up on 7 years now, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you started before your brother did.
I did.
You did comedy first? Okay.
Yeah, I think about a year and a half before he did. And yeah, so he's doing really good, though. I got to get better because he's getting too good.
He's getting too good. So, like, what prompted you to start? Was it something that you'd always wanted to do? Did you always want to do stand-up, or was just wanted to try it and it just, you got the fever?
Yeah, I always loved stand-up, and it was a big part of me growing up. You know, obviously, like, it's a good way to like interact with friends. There was always these running jokes we had. I mean, we listened, like in high school, we must have listened to Chris Rock, Bring the Pain 17 times, and we're just constantly throwing those jokes around, you know what I mean? And yeah, but the thing is, like, I grew up in Sault Ste. Marie, and there's not comedy there, so it never really clicked in as to like that's something that I could go and do, you know. And then it wasn't until I came to Ottawa, like a long time later, like in my late 20s. I used to actually have a friend, Sean Manchester, who grew up with us in the Sioux, and he used to bartend at Yuk. So one night we were going to go drinking, and we went to pick him up, and we just happened to go in at the closing of the show, and we heard this. Basically, we heard the headliner's last, you know, 7 to 5 minutes, which is, you know, probably his best stuff. And I was just kind of blown away. I was like, oh my God, what is this? You know, this is just so cool. And like,
yeah,
like I couldn't believe it was as good as like stuff I had heard on CDs or saw on television. I'm like, oh, this happens like all the time at a club. Like,
and it's like real people do it.
A little bit. And
yeah.
Yeah, like in real time. It
Yeah.
was amazing, right? But anyway, I still never really had the impetus to go out and do it. I had a feeling that I could do it, like I could be proficient at it if I worked at it. Just like I just always really identified with the way comics thought about the world and how they interacted with it, just like a little
Mhm.
bit off kilter, a little like just taking a little bit of a different angle on things. And so that
Yeah.
always like stayed with me. But I didn't do it. The real story is I got a concussion and I couldn't do anything else. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna try to stand up.
Oh, wow. How'd you get the concussion?
Um, a workplace incident, yeah, kind
Oh,
of put me over the edge. I was doing a bit of contact martial arts as well, which didn't help because it is all kind of cumulative, that head trauma. So,
yes.
but yeah, eventually it was a workplace accident, and I was out of the workforce for about a year and a half, and you know,
Okay.
concussions have come a long way even since then, which was like
Mhm.
2012, and back then it was like, um, I just sat in a dark room. It's that old story. You just sit in a dark room and like try not to
Yeah.
get stimulated, which is just, to go from like what I was doing in
To
my everyday
basically
life, just like
standing
being
still.
super active, work. Oh yeah, it was crazy, right? I was outside like working a heavy manual labor job, and then going to the gym and doing martial arts, and like camping, the whole nine. So yeah, to go
Mhm.
overnight, like I just needed something to do, and I
Yeah.
just thought like, well, I've always wanted to try stand up. I'm gonna take this time. The only thing I can kind of do is just like listen to things that are kind of like soft, like not fucking heavy metal, but just like, so I was like,
Yeah.
I'll just listen to as much free comedy as I could find on the internet and just treat it like school and just trying to figure it out, try to break it all down. And I did, and I eventually got the courage to send Howard Yekis the email for the new talent showcase, and I got on. And
Okay.
it was wild. And I just, yeah, you know, looking back, the set was great, but like in the time, like it felt good, and I did relatively good compared to other people, and I was just like, oh yeah, like this is it, man. Like this is,
Oh, yeah.
I'm in this. So
Yeah. Because the thing is, that's the special thing
yeah,
about
that's how it
your
happened.
your first your first set ever. It's like when you look back on it, like you can see your growth and like your comfort on the stage and stuff like that. Um, but even just seeing that, just because like you said, in the moment it feels great and you're like, yeah, I did it. But then when you look back, you're like, I wouldn't do it that way now.
No,
Like your style might have
I've
changed. You're more comfortable on the, yeah.
I've tried to say some of the things I said there, and it's just like sand through your fingers. There's nothing there. It's just like I can't even get in the mindset to like try to make it funny anymore because it doesn't even make sense to me. But I think that's probably pretty natural with most people. But anyway, there was some
Yeah.
good stuff. Like I liked kind of like my sensibility. I
Mm.
liked the sensibilities of it, but like the actual jokes were just dog shit. Yeah.
I had a few good like really good ones. The thing what I remember from my first set is like I took a course with Pierre Bron, so we learned how to write jokes. So even though they weren't the best jokes, they were like the best structured jokes. Like they were
Yes.
perfectly structured. And I
Yes.
haven't written jokes that well structured since. I've written better jokes, but not as structured,
Structure's
as
important,
then.
man. We were just
Oh,
talking
for
about structure
sure.
in our little workshop, and like a lot of people have taken this guy Jerry Corley's class or something like this, but it's intensive. He breaks it right down. He kind of lifts the curtain on it, and in a way you're like, the magic's getting ruined, but
Mm,
building those fundamentals and those skills is
yeah,
like essential. And like
yeah,
I've been trying to play with it a little bit more lately, and I notice a difference. Like it's just, yeah, man. Structure does go a long way, unfortunately. And then even
yeah.
like just knowing it, and then whether or not you want to follow it down the road is another story. But just to know
That's
it
another
initially
thing. Yeah,
is pretty important for
yeah,
sure. Yep.
exactly. Because I equate it with like the structure of a joke, like a formula. you know, like a math formula or even like music, because you're putting things together and they've got to flow somehow.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a start, middle, and an end sort of thing, or a result. The result is you want someone to laugh, and also the result of putting these pieces together is like your punchline, and then like an after result is like laughter.
To me, it's one of those things where I think about it too much. I don't like it because it freaks me out because I'm like, then I get all there, I'm like, oh, am I doing the formula right? Am I carrying the two? I freak out. Like I try to just like, I don't know. I think the more I do comedy, the more I try to, like, you got to have that structure, but the more emotional weight I try to infuse into my jokes. I think that's where I like to kind of keep my head, is because to me, that's how you make those connections with the audience, right? It's like talking about things that have impacted you emotionally. Like that's
right.
that, because chances are they've probably experienced something similar too. So it's like,
exactly.
And it's not a knock on like more like structured or like one-liner style comedy or anything like that. But it's just in terms of like topics, I try to just think about like areas that would be fun to explore that like people are kind of a little bit hesitant to talk about. Maybe like, I'm not an edgelord, but when there's just enough of something that like, it's a phenomenon that exists in the world, it's a real thing, but yet it's not commonly talked about, like that's just ripe for the picking, so
right, like, exactly, because it's there but no one wants to talk about it.
That's I try to just keep my brain on that wavelength rather than, once I start talking about like or thinking too much about formulas, I just like I freak out. I get so anxious because I'm like, I don't know, like
because you don't want to get hung up in the am I doing it right sort of thing. Like you want to just do it. And
I think there's something to the fact that like structure, like being truly creative is probably more like obviously like a right-brained activity, and then like that structure is left. So you need that structure. But I think once you got like a fundamental, like I try to stay the hell out of there because it's like it takes me out of the right mindset for me to try to be funny. I don't know. I guess it's some combination. I don't know. I'm just
like, I find ideas and premises and stuff come to me when I'm doing something else. Like I can't just sit there and be like, okay, I'm going to think of some jokes or think of some funny things. I'm usually doing something else. Like I'm a web developer, so it's usually when I'm coding stuff, just because I'm already in that logical brain wave that something will pop in. Then of course I'll have to stop and write it down before I forget it. So I find usually when I'm doing something else.
So
I'm a coder. I'm a geek.
Well, so then you would probably more naturally think of jokes in that sort of structural kind of way.
That's how my brain just works that way, that it's like I'm trying to fit things together and make sure they like do these things work. And that's how I approach it usually.
I'm an artiste, so I just like,
You're an artiste.
I don't want none of that. I just want the emotional side of things, that whole thing. That's where I try to live.
Because I try to get the structure first, and then I can infuse the emotion and everything else into it. But I'm like a
Wow, that's crazy.
We all have our different ways,
So do you work with, I know obviously you probably work from home now, but were you at one time in a sort of an office setting with a bunch of coders?
Yes.
Is this the impetus for you needing comedy in your life?
Well, I was. I've been working from home since the start of the pandemic, since March. But before times, I worked in an office downtown. I wasn't in the IT group or the web development group, but I'm the web developer in our little unit. So so I code all day long.
Is it a pretty dry environment though?
Not to me. not to me. I have a whole bunch of different clients, and so I'm working on different projects all the time. So,
Okay.
that keeps it interesting, and I love to code, so it's never boring for me. I never find it dry. I know people who know how to code but hate it because they think it's dull, but I love it. I like trying to figure, like I'm working on a project. Well, it's not a work project. I got one of the rare freelance. I don't freelance anymore. But I'm doing a freelance gig for just somebody asked me and I said, okay. And so I'm trying to figure something out and it's driving me crazy, but I love it at the same time. Like it's making me mad, but it's getting me going at the same time. So I like trying to figure stuff out like that and making things work.
Oh, good
like
for
taking
you.
them apart. Yeah.
Yes. Good
so
for you.
A lot of
That's
times
awesome.
you got to take it apart to put it back, to figure out how it works. So yeah, I like that kind of stuff.
Well, it's clear why you like comedy then. I mean, that's what writing is, right? It's just figuring it out and putting I don't know. It's like engineering in a way, right?
Yeah, making it exactly like trying to make something work. Like you have all these pieces and you want to make something and you can make something, but what are you going to make? And is it going to work, sort of thing?
Totally. And then you go embarrass yourself in front of strangers.
You're like, that didn't work. It worked in here, but it didn't work out there.
Right. Yep. Classic. Yep.
Exactly. So if I sound a little muffled, I had a root canal this morning, so I'm still a little swollen and a little sore. So if I sound muffled, that's why.
Okay. Yeah. Are you okay?
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. I was froze, like I don't freeze very well, so they like give me extra or something. So by the time I left, half my head, half of my skull up to my ear and to here was frozen.
Oh my God.
I couldn't feel anything. Wow. But it's pretty much thawed out. So when it started to thaw, I started to feel when it started to thaw, I was starting to feel a little discomfort, but no, I wasn't in pain. Just like little discomfort, but I'm a little swollen still in the jaw and stuff like that. But
congrats on going to the dentist. I haven't been to the dentist since COVID.
Well, this is my third time in like the 12 months because I had to have my tooth cracked and I had to have it pulled at the end of April. And then so that was like an emergency thing and I was swollen out to here. And then in November, I went for a cleaning and I was like, yeah, this tooth kind of hurts and what's up? And she's like, oh, you need a root canal. I was like, what? And so they sent the requisition, but they never called me. And so I called my dentist back on Monday and I was like, hey, I was there in November and nobody's called me. And they're like, okay, well, contact them. And it had been bothering me for like the last week or two. And so the specialist called me back right away and they're like, oh, we have a spot on Wednesday at 7:20 a.m. Do you want it? I was like, okay. So I went like bright and early this morning to get it done. So
good for you. Just handling your business. Look at you.
Just handling my business. So they're like, we can pull it, but it's the tooth right next to where the one I got pulled out. So it's like, I'll have no teeth on one side. Can we save it somehow? I don't want to be toothless on one side of my head. So yeah, so that's why we did that. And I got to go for a crown at some point with at my regular dentist. So.
It's been really nice to not go to the dentist, to be honest. I mean, I probably got 17 cavities. That's fine. Yeah, I hate the dentist. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of the dentist. I'm not crazy about it, but I wish they could give you earphones or something because it's the sounds. The sounds are horrible. And
the worst is
the smell of like burning teeth.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the thing. Even if you don't have the sound, you can feel the vibrations going up into your.
That's the thing. Like I didn't feel any pain, but I could feel pressure, and I was like, "Thank God I'm frozen," because that would you'd pass out from the pain. That would be so painful.
Yeah, for sure.
But
speaking of not to take over here, but speaking of vibrations and pain, do you have any tattoos?
I have 4.
Do you really?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got 2 on my
can I-
inner arm.
Yeah.
I got that one for when after my dad died.
Okay.
I got it the year
Cool.
after my father died.
Yep.
And then I have this one that I got from my mom. My mom was alive at the time.
Okay.
And I got it for her, and I knew she'd hate it, which she did. So, and then I have a cat, a silhouette of a cat on my outer right ankle, and my astrological sign on my left ankle. And I got all 4 done at the same time.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, and one
four different people, or just one guy, one after the other?
One woman did it. So she started with this one. She started with the arms and then did each leg after. And thank God we did all 4, because I wouldn't have gone after this one. I wouldn't have gone back. Would have been like, thank you.
Was it that painful? Talk to me about the pain. I want to know.
The thing is, it was like say somebody scratching you all the time. But when they're doing lines, it's something about like the outline that I have of the cat. I felt every single line. And that's it's not pain like if you stub your toe, it's not pain like that. It's not a pain like that. It's an ache, and it's just like repeated scratches.
Yeah.
You know?
I really want I've been watching so much Ink Master this lockdown, and I've decided that like I think it was just that like I miss stand-up so much that I miss like a little bit of pain in my life, you know? And I messaged all these tattooers, and I'm like, hey man, you know, what's your rate, this and that, and like obviously a lot of them are shut down. Well, I think everybody's shut down, but I want them to email me back so bad. And anyway, I watch Ink Master every day. I've watched like 7 seasons of it, and I'm trying to just get like as educated about tattoos as I can before I actually do it. But it's weird, man. I don't know. It's weird. There's like, because there's like traditional American tattoos, like that's a style, right? But it's not like it's weird because you hear the word traditional, you don't think like panther with his dagger through its fucking head, you know what I mean? Like, exactly. But that's what it is in tattoos.
Yeah. Or skulls are very popular.
Of course.
Yeah,
so is your cat like a traditional, or is it just like a silhouette?
Yeah, it's a silhouette of a cat, but it's not like a cat like that. It's just like a house cat. Yeah. I brought like samples of what I liked, and then she did a mock-up, and I liked it. So it just looks like a cute little house cat, and it has the paws. It has like 5 paws to represent all the cats I've had. So
let me ask you a question. Not to be the interviewer, but
that's okay.
Why did you decide to do 4 tattoos at once? Is this just your way of going about things? Do you just dive into the deep end with everything
I
you
usually do, yeah. Because I was like, I wanted to get one. It started because I wanted to get like a memorial one for my dad.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I want to get one for my mom too. And then, I like this. I always wanted to get like the Pisces symbol tattooed, and I found one that I liked, and then the cat. So I had these four ideas.
What was that? The Pisces symbol? What's that?
No, Pisces.
Pisces.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I probably cut out a little bit. Yeah, my astrological sign. I always wanted to get one,
Gotcha.
and the symbol I got, it looks like an H.
Okay.
And so my last name is Holder. So yeah, the Pisces symbol I got, it looks like an H. So.
Oh, look at that! I'm a Pisces too, and my last name starts with an H. Maybe I should get it.
Mine too. Are you a March Pisces or a February Pisces?
March. Yeah.
March what?
The Ides.
The Ides of March. That's the 9th?
15th.
Is it? The 15th. Okay, 15th. Yeah. I'm the 6th.
Ah, very nice. Yeah. My everybody's born in March. It's weird. I don't know.
Oh, really? Yeah, a lot of people are born in March. Yeah, I have I
Yeah.
always have the most birthdays in March.
Yeah. Weird, eh? Anyway.
Yeah, a lot of people are born in March,
So many presents to buy.
I
Anyway.
know. So many posts to write,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I had these ideas and I said, let me just go get them done all at once. And yeah, which is good because I wouldn't have gone back.
Let me tell you,
hurt.
let me say this with confidence. You are hardcore.
I'm hardcore.
You're hardcore.
Officially. Thank you. Or an idiot, or a little bit of both.
Fine line.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah, because a lot of people were like, you got 4 done at once? And I was like, yeah.
Well, so my idea, like I want like a 7-inch, 3-part tattoo, but then like I'm thinking like, what if I totally pussy out and like I can't finish it? I'll look like such a douche. Maybe I should just start with something small and work my way up. But like, that's not what
do something small. Yeah.
Well, you can't tell me that. You did 4 all at once.
But I did 4 small ones. 4 small ones.
Which probably adds
because I love the look of like a sleeve, and then like I have a couple friends who have like chest ones.
Yeah.
Like beautiful chest ones. I don't like wings and stuff like that. I don't think I could. I don't think I have the threshold to.
Well, that's supposed to be more painful than your arms on the chest, right?
Yeah, because there's not a lot of flesh here.
Right. Yeah.
There's not a lot of. There's not a lot of flesh there.
Yeah, I used to think that if I ever go bald, I'd just get like a tattoo on my head to like, make a new hairline. But then, like not like a dragon or something cool. It's obviously. But then like after learning a bit about tattooing, I'm like, that's like the most painful thing you can do. I'm like, maybe I'll just get bald.
Or do one of those stick-on ones, Yeah, because it's needles. You got to remember that it's needles.
Well, apparently when you do the skull, like you could feel all the vibrations right through
your skull.
Which the guy with post-concussion syndrome doesn't really sound too pleasing to me. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
Yeah, because it's going to be shaking your skull. Yeah, that's not that's not advisable. But I know my ankles were very, very painful because there's nothing there. It's bone.
So it's on the outside of the ankle, right next to that like ball.
Yeah.
Thingy? Yeah. That'd be
right painful. On the outside between where the ball and your heel, that spot. Yeah. So there's not a lot of meat there.
For sure.
So yeah, my advice would be to get it on a meaty part if you can. Like a thigh or butt cheek or something. It might hurt less.
I think that's a good way to go. Yeah.
Go fleshy. That's the thing.
Awesome. Yeah, who knows? Yeah. I just want to be able to do anything at this point, like tattoo, fucking. I want to have a beer with a human so bad.
Oh yeah.
You know what I thought of this week? I was like, because I'm going a little nuts. Like it's starting to get to me, and I was like, I'm gonna go visit my friend in Ottawa. We're both responsible adults. We're both like following the guidelines. I'm like, I just want to play guitar for one night. Just to blow off steam. It'll do wonders for my mood, everything else. And then I realized, that's against the law.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucked, man. I don't know.
I know.
It's crazy to think of. And then like my brother, he's living with some kids, and they closed the sliding hills. I'm like, well, what do you want people to do? I'm not. I think the lockdown was necessary, at least to some degree, but and I'm not some anti-masker douche, but it feels so restrictive right now. And
it is, because it is.
I just need something. I need to be able to just get out there and see humans and do something.
Yeah, because I think like what's going to end up happening, and I think what they're trying to prevent, but by keeping us like locked up, pretty much, is when things open, we're just going to like. Because we're all starved. We're all starved for like connection. Like we're tired of, texting or talking through a computer. We want to be in the same space with people. Like I miss hugs. Yeah, I want a hug, sort of thing.
For
like
sure.
Simple things like that, and we can't. We can't. Like you're playing with your life if you hug someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, one of my guy I know said that when it all is said and done, people will want to travel so bad that all these destinations are just gonna gouge the living shit out of
Oh
everybody,
yeah.
and, and they'll get away
And
with it
people are
because
gonna pay. People will
I
pay
know.
because they're like, yeah, I don't care. It's double or triple what I would have paid 3 years ago.
Yep.
I'm doing it. Yeah.
We had
Yeah.
we actually had plans to go to Vietnam in 2020. So we
Oh, wow.
like we got the bug, man. We want to go, but I'm gonna give it like a year for sure. I can, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna pay either that or just go somewhere like more. Maybe I'll see Canada or something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the East Coast. I've never been there, but yeah, like forget about international travel for a while. For
Yeah.
me. It's
For
gonna be
sure.
great.
Yeah, it'll be nuts. Like I was fortunate that last year, I was able to take my vacation and we came back like just a couple of days before everything shut down. Like we
Oh,
were gone from the 5th of March till the 12th.
yep.
I flew out of Montreal because I went with my sister and brother-in-law. And so I drove to Ottawa. I drove to Montreal from Ottawa, flew out with them. And then when we were coming back, I remember being in the airport in Jamaica and we're watching like CBC and it was like people fighting over toilet paper and all kinds of madness. And we're like, what is going on? Sort of thing. And then by the time we landed in Montreal, I think the premier of Quebec was saying, if you've traveled anywhere, quarantine yourself. Where like the federal government at that time was saying, if you've been to like certain, if you had been in Italy or in China or certain places to quarantine. And so I remember when I landed, I was like, okay, I got to get back to Ottawa as soon as possible. So I drove back like that same night.
Right.
And then I think it was by the Monday, the Sunday or Monday, they had said, if you've been out of the country, wherever, quarantine for 2 weeks. So
God damn.
yeah. So like we just got back in time because I know people who were stranded places.
Yeah.
And then others who had, their trips were canceled.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's, I mean, to lose a vacation's like not the worst, I guess, thing in the world, but
yeah, because it could have been worse. But like I know how much I was looking forward to my vacation.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know I would have been bummed if it had gotten canceled.
Yeah, for sure.
But, yeah.
You know what though? That's, I don't know. It's kind of like our household just kind of like dedicated ourselves to learning new stuff and just trying to do what we can do. I don't know. I got really into like cooking. I watched a ton of MasterChef Canada, which is an amazing show. And I think I learned a lot. I think it made me a better person, to be honest. I think I grew. But I don't know. Like I just like cook. I like cooking. I like trying new stuff. And like I wouldn't have done that if it wasn't for the pandemic. So that's good.
Yeah. I think that's the good that's come out of it. Like a lot of people have tried things that they probably never would have thought of doing before or didn't have the time to do things, to do certain things. So yeah, I think that's the good that came out. I know a lot of people are dealing with like mental health issues that never had mental health issues before. Like say people who never experienced depression or panic attacks or anything like that, being forced into isolation. They're like, what's happening? It's like, oh, that's a panic attack. You're having a panic attack. You're depressed or whatever. So like those things have cropped up too. But yeah, like there are a lot of things and people and opportunities that I wouldn't have even thought of doing.
It's true, yeah. Did you know there's a kid in Ottawa now? I shouldn't call him a kid. I think he's like 19, but Matt, I believe. But he's from near my hometown of Sault Ste. Marie, and he moved to Ottawa to do comedy during the pandemic. And I'm like,
during the pandemic? Wow.
During the pandemic, like during a lockdown. I'm like, that's amazing. Like what?
Yeah.
That takes like so much gall, even just to do that, like takes whatever. And then in the middle of a pandemic, I'm like, this guy better be the next like Jerry Seinfeld or something. I don't know.
Because I know in the coming weeks, I wanted to talk to two new comics who started during the pandemic,
Oh
just to be
yeah.
like, why now? What motivated you to start during a plague, sort of thing, you know? So yeah, so that I'm curious, because it's one thing if you've been doing it and then you just sort of pivot to doing online stuff and
Yeah.
adapting to like the restrictions in clubs and bars and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
to embark on it
I know.
during, it's like I'm like, that's interesting. I'm really curious to see, like, to ask them like why, because on one hand it could be, oh, everything's closed, like a smaller crowd, maybe that was the appeal, just like smaller
Like
groups.
a little less scary, a little less intense.
Yeah.
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 I can see that.
Yeah. But I was
Imagine.
talking with someone else before, and we were saying that there's a whole bunch of people who are fairly new who don't know like the veterans in the community just because of the situation, So, what were you going to
Yeah, yeah,
say?
yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say, it's gonna be hilarious when those people do their first set once the lockdown's lifted at Absolute Comedy. They're just gonna shit their pants immediately.
Yeah.
It'd be fantastic.
I think we all might. It take a little bit of time.
Can you imagine a
I've been,
full room? Like what? It seems bananas.
yeah, it seems nuts now. It's true, because I finished watching it today or yesterday. It was a Just for Laughs thing called what was it called? Something, the stand up show or something like that. It was hosted by John Doerr.
Yeah.
And it was filmed in Montreal, I think in 2019. And it was just like, oh wow, crowds, people sitting close together, he's shaking hands with the comics as they come up to the stage, and there's no plexiglass and stuff. Like, it seems weird now to see that.
Absolutely weird.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be so, I don't know. I listened to Dr. Vera Etches today, and she was talking about how she's hopeful we can get all the older adults vaccinated by the spring, so that'll kind of reduce the hospitalization numbers, and maybe we can really kind of open things up in the summer, which would be like, I think it would be awesome, but like psychologically, it's going to be a big change, like to just get used to crowds again and stuff.
Yeah, because we haven't been in crowds.
No,
in a year.
I don't want to be in crowds sometimes.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the general consensus is I'm okay with the social distancing. Like, I don't want to be in a restaurant and someone's sitting right.
Yeah.
You're wedged between two tables, and so things like that, like, I hope stay.
Totally. Grocery stores are huge for me. I want everybody to stay away from me in a grocery store. I need my room and my space.
Yes. Like, don't stand right here. It's like, and then those people you try and move and they stand too close. Yeah. I know. I hate that. It's like, stay. Why you gotta be so close?
Yeah. I think comedy clubs and like concerts are the only time when I actually I think it adds to the experience to be in a tight group,
Yes.
Other than that, like, get away.
It's unnecessary. It's true. I agree with you. Other than that, you don't need to be breathing down my neck, literally. It's true. It's true. Because I don't mind having to if I have to wear a mask all the time. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, just if we could just have crowds, but like controlled, still spaced out relatively, like not stacked on like sardines on top of each other, but
well, even the mask thing, like that's so far beyond my imagination, just seeing people's faces again. I mean, like, what is this thing underneath your nose?
You can only see people from here, and it's like, oh.
it's gonna feel like we're reading a Playboy magazine. It's like, oh,
it's like, oh, I saw his cheeks. Like,
yeah, man. Exactly. It's gonna be wild. It could be a very wild summer.
Exactly. And then remember, like, at like a comedy club, like at a Yuck Yucks or an Absolute, when you're on stage and there are people right at the edge of the stage.
Yeah.
That's gonna feel weird. Like
Oh
that
yeah.
always felt weird to me because I was like, that's really close. Like one false move and I can kick you in the head or, flip the table by accident.
Oh yeah. I've inadvertently spit on many a front rower.
That's the thing too. Like
it's
the
fun.
plexiglass protects them
Yeah.
from spittle.
It's fun just because sometimes you can only see it because the spotlight is so bright, and you'll just catch like the little drops of spittle that fly out of your mouth, and you're just like, "Oh, sorry, y'all have open beers right there. My bad, but whatever."
Except for the spray. I know. Because the thing is, it was things like that I never thought about before. I never thought about, we all shared microphones like no big deal, and now it's like, ugh, the thought of, because they've told us like every time you talk, you're spitting, basically. You sneeze, you're you're spitting droplets all over the place. And it's like, ugh. Blowing out a birthday cake is disgusting. Right? Like when you think about it, it's like, yeah, we won't be doing that anymore. I think that's done.
I feel like we should stop doing that anyway, but it's just because I have no joy in my heart. So.
Yeah,
maybe
I've
once
seen people
every
do like this over it.
Once every decade, you should be able to celebrate a birthday. Other than that, get the hell out of here. I got no time for it. Get over yourself. What do you?
Get over yourself. No, I like birthdays, but it's like if you want to blow out the cake, you should have like a cupcake that you blow out yourself that nobody else has to touch.
That's a good idea.
And like you have a cake that has no spit on it. The spittle-free cake, and you have with the candle, and you can blow that out. But otherwise, otherwise you have to do away with blowing out the candle. Yeah.
And kids should just be right out. Kids should have their own island somewhere. Everything they do is disgusting. No more. Well, we can have kids, but they all got to live across the way. Behind
or they have to be in hazmat suits if they're because they carry a lot like germs. They're like vermin. They carry germs.
Super spreaders, man.
Yeah, super spreaders. Great. Little super spreaders. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, there's just a lot of things that I hope stay in place.
Yeah.
Like even though I hope things will open up and we can meet in bigger groups and stuff like that, but there are things that I hope stay in place, like the masks and the spacing
and not seeing your family a lot.
That's yeah, that's hard. Yeah, that's
no.
hard,
I'm saying we should keep that.
Oh, you can't. Yeah, exactly. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, can't." It's true. Being like, can't COVID, sorry.
Yeah. Well, I think Zoom has its place sometimes, and I think maybe family is like one of those things, because it was kind of cool because we could all get together despite being so geographically distant, and like that only ever happens at weddings and funerals, right? But it happened like multiple times throughout the lockdown, and that was actually kind of cool. So like, maybe family is just better experienced through the internet.
Distance. I don't know. Internet and distance, because I have a friend who his family has like a family video call like every Sunday. Like wherever they are in the country, they all get on a Zoom call and they do it weekly. And I know people who had like virtual Zoom Christmases and stuff. I did Zoom I did it New Year's Eve. It was on Trevor's pad, and a bunch of us were on the call. Yeah. So so everything is like, we're still trying to do the same things, but we're just pivoting and doing it a different way. Like you said earlier, everything is better experienced in person, but
Well, I do think that about comedy too, and I was so hesitant to try a Zoom show, but like I did one, and I gotta say it was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, I love them. I think they're fun. It's not the same, but
no, not the same. But
I think how you approach it too.
Do it at your kitchen table, and you just gotta I had to just like translate typing as laughter because I couldn't hear anybody, right?
Yeah.
once I got over that, I'm like, whatever, man. I just performed to silence. Like, I feel like I'm bulletproof now. You know what I mean? Like, it was cool. No, I really enjoyed it. And there's no commute. There's no like, I don't know. There's just like, it's just great.
You're in the comfort of your own home. Yeah,
it's the best.
Yeah. No, I like it. I've done a lot of shows, and I like the first few times it was like, this is weird, but I think how you approach it makes a big difference. And like I approach them like the same way as if I'm doing a show in person. You know, like I'm prepared. You know, I do my hair, I do my makeup. I'm wearing a nice top. At least you can't see. I could be pantsless for all you know, but from the waist up, I look fine, and I try and deliver it like I'm on stage. You know, I try and treat it the same way, and I think it's a good. I think it's flexing a different muscle, because because you're online and you're not in the same room with people, like there's a whole dimension that's missing. That I think if you can get people laughing online, like through like a two-dimensional thing, then when you're ready to, or when it's time to do it in person, I think you'll feel that much more confident, and you'll be that much better, because you're still performing. You're still performing.
100%. Yeah. I recorded my set when I did my Zoom show, so it's basically just me telling jokes to silence, and it's so awkward to listen back to at first, and then I kind of start to like I kind of address it, and I address it to the audience, because like it was just way too weird to not talk about it,
because it's probably weird for them too.
Of course,
it's like he can't hear me laughing. And then I get a little bit more comfortable,
and then like I actually just start to like comment on their comments like in real time, and it started to flow pretty well, and I was almost like, this would make a fun like release, like because I don't know if anyone's done that. I know everyone's done like, let me perform to my teddy bears on my couch, which is whatever, but I thought like
I think that's more weird.
Right. But like having a real audience, but just the audio of just you, and then like people listening to you trying to get comfortable with the whole experience. I don't know, it was kind of cool. I might maybe I'll release it someday as like a bootleg or something down the road, but it was kind of neat. And it just kind of captures the time, what we were all going through, and it's kind of like a cool little artifact.
Exactly, because I know I like doing, because I've done some on Facebook Live where it's just one way and you can't hear them, you can only see comments. But the Zoom ones are fun, because they can have their cameras on if they want, but if they leave their mics on, you can actually hear them laughing.
Right.
On a Zoom call. So, I like that. Yeah.
That would be fun. I'd be scared to be heckled through like some guy. I don't know, maybe like people
you can mute them. You can mute them if they
Oh, look at that. Perfect.
Someone's talking, you just mute.
I'm 100% on board with that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I think I'm always trying to encourage comics to try them. Some are reluctant, but I think it's developing a muscle, because I think that because I had performed on so many, like during the first lockdown, that when things opened up and we were performing live again, I didn't have any adjustment. All I had to adjust to was the plexiglass.
Yeah.
Which was weird, seeing my reflection and everything. But in terms of performing, I'd been performing all along, so I think that I felt like I'd improved,
Yeah, 100%.
So I always encourage people to do it, to try it,
Totally. We talked about some questions earlier that there was were going to happen. Is it time-ish?
Oh yeah. Yes, because I think my file finally opened. So if you could pick a number between 1 and 62, and I'll read the corresponding question.
Okay. 47.
47. Okay. Okay. What part of the human face is your favorite?
Excellent question. Like, just in general, huh?
Yeah.
Favorite? I think probably the mouth. Probably.
Mouth?
Yeah, I would think
Yeah.
so. I think it's like the
Yeah.
most functional. You got a lot going
Function
on.
is good.
A lot of components. You can sing, you can talk, you can, eat. Yeah. I'm going to go with mouth.
Mouth? Okay. Yeah.
Final answer.
Yeah. I think I would go with eyes. I like mouth too, but I think it's like a toss up for me between eyes and mouth. Yeah. Because I like a good mouth. A good mouth is good.
Well, maybe COVID made you appreciate eyes more.
Yeah, because that's all we can see.
So you can see.
And if we're around people, that's all you can see because we're all wearing masks.
Yep.
You know? Okay, let's do another one. So you can pick another number.
23.
23? Okay. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Oh, chocolate peanut butter. That's easy.
Chocolate peanut butter. Okay. I don't think I've ever had chocolate peanut butter.
What?
Love chocolate. Love chocolate ice cream.
Do you like peanut butter?
Yes.
Well,
I've never had them together. Does it taste like a Reese's peanut butter cup?
Well, you can do that, but I mean, the Haagen-Dazs is really where you want to get after it.
Ah, I love Haagen-Dazs. Yeah.
Oh, it's like, because it's like these ribbons of peanut butter. They're not like in any given shape. It's just always a surprise. Sometimes you get these little nuggets, but sometimes they just keep going, and you just get like half a mouthful of like these nuggets of peanut butter. It's amazing. Yeah, I don't really eat it much anymore. I don't really eat a lot of sugar, but I definitely eat just like peanut butter on dark chocolate. Like I just spread that shit on there and just go to town.
And just go to town on it.
Yeah,
I've got to put that on my list to try because I love ice cream, but my favorite is chocolate. I'd say chocolate.
Just plain chocolate.
Yeah, like a Haagen-Dazs, like the little pint of Haagen-Dazs chocolate. Yeah, maybe a chocolate chip depending on the brand, but I like it plain. I like it. Yeah, I like it. Keep it simple.
You know what I like? I like that Haagen-Dazs, the gelato and the dark chocolate chip gelato. That is.
Oh, I've never had the gelato. I like the bars, like the ice cream bars. Like, lose my mind for those. I like the milk chocolate ones, and then one time I bought the dark chocolate ones by accident, and those are pretty good too. Yeah, I prefer the milk chocolate, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm all about dark chocolate. It's got what are those things? The things that are good for you. Antioxidants, and less sugar, and like a mood booster. Like it's actually like good for you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm more of a milk chocolate girl, but it's chocolate, so it's good. It's good. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. No problem. This was great. So I will post the links to download your music that you released.
Yes.
I'll put it in the comments of the live stream, and also in the show notes when I post the episode. So if you could if you could say the titles again, that would be great.
So the album is called Are You Ready to Rock, Paper, Scissors? And I have a video that I did for one of the songs, which is called I'm Not Gonna Eat Your Bum. Pretty self-explanatory. So I shot a video of that, I think a year or two ago, with like all members of the Ottawa comedy community. So you might see some familiar faces. It's pretty fun. And and then I'm going to be shooting a video for the other song on the single, which is called Part-Time Casual Stepdad. And that should be coming out in March sometime. So please have a listen, have a watch. Sure. I've been getting some good feedback. So want to spread that around. And thanks so much for having me. This was awesome.
Oh, this was awesome. Thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely.
So good night, everybody, and I'll see you next time.
Peace.